Well, good afternoon and welcome to another Shropshire walk. Well, we're still in COVID restrictions, so we're having to do a local walk. And it's been very wet, so we want to keep off the fields. And we've decided to do a walk along the river, looking at the historic bridges of Shrewsbury. For this walk, I've used a lot this book, Historic Bridges of Shropshire by Anthony Blackwall. Very interesting book. The river defines Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury was situated here because it's a defensive place on the river. The river loops nearly all the way around the town. But also, it gives its reason for being here as well, in that ships could sail up here from Bristol and Gloucester up to Shrewsbury, exchanging goods for wool and other products produced in the Welsh marshes. And even now, the river gives Shrewsbury its sense of place surrounding the town and giving us lovely places like the Quarry Park. Anyway, there's two very old bridges over the river, the English and the Welsh, but there's many others, and we're going to look at them today. And the newest one of them is this, the Blackwall Bridge. It's a very, very elegant bridge, opened in 1979, and it's the one most upstream. Now, to walk today, we're going to go downstream along the river, but you can make a circular walk of it because of the way the river loops around Shrewsbury. The final bridge we'll be going to, Castle Walk Bridge, is only a short distance that way, so you can make a circle and join or leave the circle at any time. So from the newest bridge, perhaps onto the oldest bridge, Close Bridge. The oldest bridge in the town is Welsh Bridge. It was built in 1795, but it actually replaces a much older bridge, a medieval bridge that stood further upstream at the bottom of Mardle. When they built the new bridge, while they were building the bridge, they wanted the old bridge still to operate so people had access to the town, so they had to build it in a slightly different position, its current position. It actually owes a lot to Montford Bridge, designed by Telford and built a few years earlier. They were so pleased with that, they more or less copied it here. Interestingly, there's one bit of the ancient bridge still here, still in Shrewsbury. It's on the market hall in the square. The statue, I think it's of the Black Prince. It stood in the great tower at the end, probably to frighten the Welsh out. The next bridge is Porthill Suspension Bridge, built nearly 100 years ago in 1922. It was paid for by the Shropshire Horticultural Society. In other words, the flower show paid for this bridge, just as he did for quite a few large amenities in the town. It's a little old bridge. If you've ever walked across it, can be quite disconcerting the way it sways at times. Just at the edge of the Quarry Park is the Kingsland Bridge, built in the 1870s to serve the newly opened up Kingsland area, and probably helped with the relocation of Shrewsbury School, giving it some access still to the town. It's a very elegant bridge. It was built by the Cleveland Bridge Company, who have built many great bridges since, including the Sydney Harbour Bridge, the Victoria Falls Bridge, and the Severn Bridge. This bridge actually is similar in many respects to the Sydney Harbour Bridge. It's like a D on its back. Very elegant. That's how these swans were just swimming past. Before the later footbridges were built, there were ferries operating to take foot passengers from the town across the river. There was one that operated to the Boathouse pub, and there was another one here that goes to the Shrewsbury School. This ferry closed in 1881 when the new Kingsland Ferry was built. But there's a remnant of it here still, the post that held the cable. And I think there's one on the other side as well. The Greyfriars Footbridge was opened in 1880 and it links the town centre with the growing industrial area of Colon. In fact, just by the bridge was the big ironworks, Corbett's Ironworks. And when you think about it, the iron bridge, the iron factory was here because it could get coal and other supplies in on the river, and the big items it produced would be sold out on the river. And perhaps they built the footbridge in 1880 because with the rise of the railways, the river traffic with the large boats had finally disappeared enough that they could build a low bridge. The second oldest bridge in Shrewsbury is not over the Severn, but over the Raybrook. Here it is, Longdon Bridge. Longdon Colon Bridge was built in 1795, still going strong. Alongside the Welsh Bridge, the other ancient bridge in the town was the English Bridge. Here it is. The ancient bridge, which had a drawbridge and a gatehouse, was finally replaced in the 1760s. That bridge was higher than the current bridge to allow the boats to come under, and also it was much narrower.
The work on the English Bridge was completed in 1926.
By the current bridge, which is twice as wide and much lower than its predecessor.
And a formal opening by the Prince of Wales was organised for 1927, and in fact a big brochure was put together and sold for the event. But however, it was cancelled due to a royal death, and formal court mourning prevented any such frivolities to happen. So a little while later, Queen Mary happened to be coming through Shropshire and drove over the bridge in her Daimler. No fuss or bother, so they counted that as the formal royal opening.
Interestingly, this was the last major bridge in Britain built out of stone. Not so much as it wasn't a suitable material, but the cost of it had become totally prohibited. So, last stone bridge in Britain, perhaps. The next bridge across the river is a railway bridge. They managed to place the railway line just between the ancient castle and the newly built prison on the Dana. Well, I say railway bridge, actually, there's three separate bridges. And it's well worth having a look at these because one of them is 50 years older than the other two. Let's have a look. In the centre is the original brick bridge, built in 1848 under the direction of the great railway engineer Robert Stephenson, with one of his last projects. And that carried the line from Shrewsbury to Birmingham for over 50 years. Then there was big changes in the railway world. The Severn Tunnel was built near Bristol, and there were other changes in the Midlands, which meant that Shrewsbury became a railway hub, and the railway bridge was expanded. In fact, it was made 4 times as large by 2 new bridges. This is in 1904. One the other side and one this side, and they're massive. They really are. And they're carrying not only the railway, but the station itself. The whole station was extended over the river. And Shrewsbury became a major railway centre from then on. Just a bit further down from the railway bridges is the Castle Walks Bridge, a very, very fine bridge of 1951. It's a double cantilever bridge, very technical and very advanced for its time. It's an excellent bridge. And that's concluding our walk for today. A short walk back up through Castlefield, past the prison, and you're back to where we started at Frankwell. But there are some more bridges in Shrewsbury. We're not going to do them today. Just further downstream again, about a mile, is the Telford Bridge. That was a very important bridge built in the mid-60s, which allowed the A49 traffic to divert and from Whitchurch Road across and through Monkmore and then out towards Hereford Road, instead of going bang through the centre of town. Can you imagine what it must have been like with the lorries and everything from Manchester down to Cardiff and vice versa, trundling up and down the Cop? And then a bit further out again, we've got the new motorway bridges around Uffington, and finally the superb 1848 railway bridge at Belvedere. But perhaps more of those when we do a river walk, when the weather's a bit better and perhaps the river's a bit lower as well. Hope to see you on that. Bye.